Well, hello there, my ravenous little rippers, and welcome back to 31 Films of Halloween, Day 17. Bet y'all didn't know I was the gay Meryl Streep of accents now, did ya? Yeah, neither did she. Anyway, I'm going to jump back in time for this post, 1944 to be exact, and talk about The Lodger, directed by John Brom. Now, The Lodger is a historical drama / horror film that takes place in merry old England in 1888 in Whitechapel. Now, you're smart. You know what this movie's about. Jack the Ripper doing his mayhem and menace and the rippins. And the movie opens up in a fog-shrouded, gaslit street. People are leaving their pubs and taverns and doing their after-pub tavern things. When there's a scream in the night, the dead body is found. Holy smokes, Jack the Ripper has done it again. It's his fourth victim. Everybody all in a tizzy. Who did it? Where is he? How'd he get away? Front page of the newspapers. Headline news. At this time, we are also introduced to Mr. Slade, played by Laird Cregar. And Laird Cregar, just to give you a brief biography, had a very short career. He made 16 films in the span of 5 years, which is very sad. He starred in some memorable films, including I Wake Up Screaming, This Gun for Hire, and Hangover Square, which was his last film. And Laird Cregar, unfortunately, was typecast a lot as the heavy, because he towered at 6'3". He tipped the scales at almost 300 pounds. And he was a very diverse actor. He played, of course, in these types of roles where he was this hulking, menacing presence. But he also was very adept in comedies. But he wanted to be the leading man in a romantic film. I mean, he was handsome. They should have given him 6'3". He could be my romantic lead. Come on. But unfortunately, he started crash dieting a lot because he thought this would help him get out of this typecast. And the crash dieting really wore his health down. He had to undergo surgery to fix a hernia, and his heart had become so weak that it had given out during the surgery. Laird Cregar passed at the age of 31, which is truly tragic. He was a great actor, and I feel like he could have just had such an amazing career if this had not happened. Anyway, back to the movie. So, Mr. Slade, or Mr. Ripper, you decide. He needs a place to stay. So he finds lodgings from this older couple, and he tells them that he usually keeps to himself, but he does a lot of experiments because he's a biologist, a man of science, a man of murder. And while he's staying at this home, he crosses paths with the couple's niece, Kitty Langley, Miss Kitty. And Miss Kitty is played by Merle Oberon. And Merle Oberon was just a beautiful actress. She was born in India, and she starred in quite a few films, including These Three, Dark Angel, but she's most commonly known as playing Kathy in the 1939 classic Wuthering Heights. So, Mr. Slade is very intrigued by Kitty, and he finds her extremely alluring and beautiful, as, you know, she is. But Kitty does not think she is all that or a bag of chips. She's like, no. I'm like, girl, go to the eye doctor. You're gorgeous. And I mean, she's a triple threat. She's an actress, she's a dancer, and she's a singer. And she stars in this can routine that, according to her aunt, is quite saucy. I mean, I guess for 1888 it's saucy. But I'm not one to judge. Anyway, so Kitty is also intrigued by Mr. Slade, but she's also suspicious of him as well, because of his behavior. He only goes out at night. he leaves through the back door of the house, and his behavior is coinciding with a lot of the murders and suspicious behavior going around. We'll enter in Inspector John Warwick. And Inspector John is played by George Sanders. George Sanders played in a ton of movies. He was in Rebecca and The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, and he also starred in All About Eve, for which he won his Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He's phenomenal. If you haven't seen All About Eve, just do it. So he's investigating the Ripper murders as well. But he also is intrigued by Kitty. Kitty, how you gonna say you ain't pretty when you got Mr. Slade and Mr. John all up in your business, wanting to date you, and yeah, girl, go to the eye doctor or something, because you got cataracts, I don't know, something. Nearsighted, farsighted, just fix it. Anyway, so Mr. Slade's behavior becomes increasingly more suspicious. He burns his little black bag that he carries around with him because a witness saw someone leaving the scene of the crime also carrying a similar bag. Well, then Miss Kitty catches him one evening burning a coat that's got some kind of stains on it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'd be like, dude, you got to go. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to break your rent agreement because you got blood on your clothes. You got a little black bag somebody's seen you carrying around. No. You got to go. Bye. This time you're evicted. So as the film progresses and heightens to this very dramatic conclusion, we are along for this thrilling ride of whether or not they're going to apprehend the Ripper and whether or not it is, in fact, Mr. Slade. We know it's you, boy. We know it's you, Mr. Slade. You got guilt written all over your face. The performances here are great, especially Laird Cregar. I mean, the man should have got an Oscar nomination. His performance is nuanced. He's intimidating, yet he's vulnerable. He is just phenomenal in this part. And the supporting cast is great as well. As beautiful as Merle Oberon is, you cannot take your eyes off Laird Cregar. I mean, he commands every scene he's in, and the use of shadows and darkness on him as the conclusion just builds up is just, it's a must-see. It's 4.5 out of 5 pumpkins. I guarantee you will like it. If you don't, I'm so sorry. But until next time, don't rent out to suspicious men with black bags and blood on their clothes. It's not a good idea.